Hey everyone, welcome to HR Happy Hour Work Break. You are here with Trish and Steve. Hey, Steve Bose.
Hey, Trish McFarland, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. You're looking very summery.
Do I look summery?
Which is great. Can I tell you, can I complain for a second? It turned from summer into the middle of fall here overnight.
What?
Yep.
Really?
It's freezing. It's been pouring down raining all day. I had to break out the big old sweatshirt. I'm literally wearing by the way, this is the new dud for the show. Little shout out to my old hometown in Rochester, by the way.
You know what? I'll tell you what, I never complain about the weather because living outside St. Louis, we have 4 seasons and I love them all. And yeah, it's hot today. You want to know what I was doing before this?
Yes, I do.
So it's funny that you say I look all summery because probably because I was out in the sun, I bought a tiki bar for the pool area. And so my daughter and I put together the tiki bar really quickly, but like we're doing it like in the midday sun, which is
that's rough.
I must admit, but I did. And it's got the little like tiki umbrella, like the thatched roof umbrella. And so I was like a sweaty mess out there. I quickly came in, braided my hair.
You never know. You look very professional.
A little nicer blouse for the work break. But anyway.
There you go. Well, it's great. Good. I'm glad we're taking the work break slightly earlier today, too. Because it feels a little bit more like a work break.
It does, because you know what? I'm going to finish this work break with a swim is what I'm going to do. So It's going to be an actual true work break. But then I have things to do because can I mention we recorded the most amazing conversation with Skillsoft CMO Michelle Beebe, and we're going to be working on that one a little bit this afternoon. So everyone should stay tuned. We talked about a lot of things, but can I tell you something I wrote down, and I wanted to get your opinion on this.
Sure.
She made a comment I really agree with, and I hadn't really thought of it this way. She talked about learning being a commitment.
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever you think about all the years we've talked about employee engagement and how to get them more engaged, and I wonder why we haven't done more with learning. Because it's true, learning is a commitment if you're actually going to do it, right? And so really engagement is just being committed to the relationship, the work relationship, your personal relationship, whatever, right? Being engaged means being committed to something. So I don't know. Did you catch that at all? Or
I thought that was interesting, and I did not. Sadly, I didn't bring it up on the conversation we had with Michelle because it wasn't quite the intention of the show. But what I was thinking was prior to pandemic, right? Mm-hmm. I remember I was spending a lot of time on upskilling and reskilling and learning. Mm-hmm. I had spoken about it a couple of times. I'd been writing about it too. And the one thing I had noticed is I was doing a lot of that research for those presentations in sort of the latter part of last year and the very beginning of this year was the incredible investments that many of like the USA and the world's biggest companies were making in learning, like things like building new learning campuses, companies like Amazon committing hundreds of millions of dollars for training initiatives in their organization. And there were plenty more. And now that's all been kind of knocked aside a little bit due to pandemic, right? I think it probably will come back, but that commitment, what made me think about it was, as you said, I think I was starting to see more organizations and more leaders starting to make more commitments to learning. And if you sort of judge as a proxy of commitment, like investment dollars, right? Because there was huge investments going on in the learning space.
Yeah, I agree. It was interesting when I left Infor a couple of years ago, just over 2 years ago. That was one of the things going back to the analyst space. I was happily surprised at how much learning had picked up in the couple of years that I was working in the product space. And you're right. I've seen that in the last 2 years, obviously pick up even more. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I wonder too, you think about why people leave their employers and, of course, sometimes it's compensation, but really I wouldn't have called out learning specifically as the reason people leave, but it's lack of commitment. And so if learning can help boost that, I don't know. I don't know that I've got it all worked out in my mind because we just had that conversation recently. Anyway, that was something I thought was really important. So I would say if anybody out there listening has any ideas around learning and having that be a way to be committed to the organization, I would love to hear it.
Yeah.
Or if you have articles that you've written or read that are relevant, please point me to them. I would love to get some more information on the learning commitment, if you will. So what else? What have you been doing? I told you I've been building bars today. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, well, speaking of the show, and this is not just a plug for our podcast, but I did edit a podcast this morning that just got posted today on
which
the HR
one?
Happy Hour feed. It was the Equifax episode, and it's a great episode. It's all about compliance and I-9s and I-9 changes. It's a very geeky, hardcore HR podcast.
Definitely geeky.
So it's great. And I'm saying that in the most positive way possible. I posted this maybe a couple of hours ago. But on that podcast, Trish, we talked about our favorite stores in the mall. And you mentioned that the America's Greatest Hot Dog was your one of your favorites.
Yeah.
So I've got some hot dog news for you.
Oh, okay.
They did. And you talked about how much you love hot dogs. I love them too. And
I didn't even know I loved hot dogs till we had that conversation.
So here's the news part of it, and then I have some commentary. The news is the Nathan's famous 4th of July hot dog contest that they have every year at Coney Island, New York.
Contest.
Which I love. I watch it every year. It's on. They're having the contest.
Okay.
But with probably no fans. Because if you ever remember watching that contest on TV or attending, there'd be a huge throng of people on the Coney Island beach there or the boardwalk, wherever they did it. And it's a big spectacle. I did eat, the second part of the news, I did eat a Nathan's hot dog for lunch today. So I'm on it. I bought Nathan's hot dogs over the weekend and made one today for lunch, which was awesome. And my last Nathan's bit, just my little tip for you, if you haven't ever checked this out or watched it. The best part of the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, in my opinion, is not that the guys just plowing the hot dogs in, because that is kind of gross after a while.
Yeah.
It's the introductions of the eaters. Because the guy who hosts the Nathan's hot dog contest has been doing it for a long time. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but he is phenomenal. He's just a showman, great MC. I try to learn some things from him over the years as hosting events and doing public speaking.
Emulating the
He is so good. So if anyone has a few minutes to spare, go on YouTube and Google Nathan's hot dog eating contest introductions and pick from the last couple of years and watch a little bit of that. Phenomenal.
I've never watched that.
Phenomenal. So that's my hot dog update.
That's amazing. Okay, I'm shocked. See, I had no idea we were going to talk about hot dogs. I don't know. Is it bad if I admit I've never had a Nathan's hot dog that I'm aware of?
That is bad. Technically,
what do they sell at the ballpark? That's what I get.
Most teams have kind of their own brand. You might have Cardinal dogs. I don't know what you have there, but yeah. I
don't know, but in St. Louis, the one I like to get is actually, I'm okay with the regular one, but they're always better at the ballpark, right? Watching a baseball game. We have the ones that are wrapped in bacon and then like deep fried.
Yeah.
All of my best hot dogs are deep fried, honestly.
Well, that's the trick of the Nathan's dog. They were traditionally a deep fried dog with that crispy crunch. They kind of snap when they're cooked.
Does the hot dog fit in a keto diet? Remember I told you I was starting a diet. I'm dieting.
That's the no carb thing, right?
No carbs. Yeah.
I don't think there are any carbs in a hot dog. I mean, the bun would be where your carbs would be. So it's hard to have a hot dog without a bun, but that would be your issue. I have one other piece of news.
Vienna beef. Vienna beef. I've not had Vienna beef. Where do I get that? I don't even know. Okay. I feel like my takeaway from this whole conversation is I need to go and I always get Oscar Mayer. They're okay.
No. You want to go Nathan's.
I need to go and do some other things.
I'd go Hebrew National too. I'd give them a shout out too.
Really?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
really
right.
tasty. I have one other piece of shocking news, but I have a feeling I might want to hold it for tomorrow because
okay.
I don't know that you can handle this in a minute and 20 or 2 minutes.
Okay, then hold it.
All right, I'm going to save that one for tomorrow. I'll get, I'll tell you one other.
Those are in Chicago, Vienna beef in Chicago. You know what? Is that at the Cubs game? I've been to a Cubs game before. I need to go back. I was thinking I totally need to go back.
Yeah, sadly, Trish, there's rumors flying about, and they're not great, that the folks who sort of organize baseball, the owners, the players, the commissioner types, are not getting their stuff together. We may not have baseball in 2020. That seems to be a possibility.
That just makes me sad. I'm not even the biggest baseball fan, but I love sports. I like going to sports. I like being at the stadiums and whatnot. And that's bad. That's really.
All right. Then speaking of sports, then tomorrow, then you'll be interested to know Premier League returns in England. My team, Liverpool, it needs 2 more wins to clinch their first title ever in the Premier League, which they absolutely will do. And maybe more importantly, and some folks maybe who might even catch this will know, there's a Premier League fantasy team or fantasy league, Premier League fantasy league, kind of like you do US football fantasy. You can do it for English soccer as well. And Andy Spence is the guy who organizes it, who you may know. He's a consultant in the HR space. He's been around forever. Super smart guy. Andy Spence organizes this HR. It's called the HR and Hashtags League. It's been going for years. There's probably about 35 of us in it. Lots of folks you know.
A shout out, Andy Spence.
Andy was tweeting about it today, reminding everybody to get their team organized because the games are coming back, from the pandemic break. They're starting up to play tomorrow. So get your fantasy team organized. That's my advice to the HR and Hashtags League. I'm well out of the running. I think I'm in like 27th place out of like 35, but it's still fun. So shout out to Andy, HR and Hashtags.
That's great.
There you go.
What Andy Spence is up to. Do you ever do that? Like you hear of somebody else and you're like, I wonder what he's up to. Andy
Usually
Spence,
I don't.
We're going to tweet at you, Andy Spence.
Andy's up to organizing this Premier League fantasy thing. That's what
I feel like I want to have him on a work break to talk about that now once it goes back. You guys, I wouldn't get a word in edgewise, but you guys can talk about that. I've been to an actual soccer game. That was fun.
As well as I have. It is fun.
I've been right out on the pitch myself.
Maybe I'll wear that jersey tomorrow. I still have mine.
Ooh,
that day.
I know I've got mine. All right, we may have to. Let's save it. Let's save it for if we do a show with Andy.
All right, fair enough.
All right, good deal. Well, listen, hey, it sounds like you're busy. I'm busy. I'm going to go for a swim. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm going to go out and enjoy some of the sun. You just cuddle up with your blankie and your sweatshirt.
My backyard. I'm looking at my backyard now. It is half underwater. I'm going to have to swim out of here at the end of the day.
Okay, one final little teaser. So I went to Branson, Missouri, and I stopped at a place called Uranus Fudge Factory, which is all kinds of greatness, and got you a present.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
Yes, got you a present. And so I need to mail that tomorrow, and I will send that to you, and then maybe you can do the unboxing on a future
Let's do it.
The work break. You are going to love it.
And we do.
It comes from Uranus Fudge Factory. It's got to be good.
I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it at that.
Leave it alone. Okay.
Well, thank you very much. That's exciting.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening and messaging. Definitely give me some learning as commitment type articles if you've got them. And Andy Spence, shout out to you, my friend. And that's it for today. So we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.